Retention, retention, retention is the theme right now. Coach Cindy Griffin, one of the best coaches across the country. 24th season, has done a terrific job. Winningest active coach in the A10 belongs to Coach Griffin, and I believe that's why her retention rate is so high, because you know what you're getting from her, you know what her system is, her style is, and what to expect. What I really would like to know for St. Joe's is who becomes the fourth option. Who becomes the fourth option? They return Talya Brugler, Lawa Ziegler, Mackenzie Smith, but now they need a fourth option in terms of scoring, in terms of consistent production. They have a terrific, and I mean terrific, folks, balance from inside, outside game. That's actually one of the reasons why they're picked preseason number 2, because they're so dominant on the inside, but also on the outside. And then international play. You know what happens when you bring international players. They bring a different style to the game. They learn a little bit different, and that has helped her year after year bring in some international play.
Yeah, first 2 names on that list, preseason first-team selections. Mackenzie Smith, a second-team selection. Here you're looking at Brugler and what she's done so far throughout her career, 3-year captain as well. You're right. I mean, if you're able to just, there's got to be different pockets, I think, of you know, what we've discussed with those transfers and keeping players and then freshmen recruiting. You know, we're going to talk to Billy Lang too in a little bit as well on the men's side, and I've really admired what he's done in terms of bringing in freshman recruits. Okay, I mean, you're in Philadelphia, you know there's a ton of talent there. You got to defend your home city first, right? And there, you know, needless to say, yeah, you got to bring in some other people too that could potentially help you right away. But on that side of things, that if we transition to the men's side for a moment, like, he has a little bit of all those things, right? You got an Eric Reynolds player who's phenomenal. To be able to get him to stay, huge. A couple other returning guys, bringing in a few transfers as well, right? And then the freshmen, you know, that he's had, 3 of them last year, and we'll get into those players in a moment. But both coaches have done a really nice job at that. I think it's going to be a big year for St. Joe's, on both sides.
Yeah, across the board, I completely agree. Man, Eric Reynolds. Like, if you are a young player and you want to play college basketball, you want to be a guard on the ball, please watch Eric Reynolds compete. Cannot say enough about him. All A10, all conference first team, all championship team, 15th all-time in career points at St. Joe's, great free throw shooter, but just, I mean, 3rd in A10 in steals per game, did a ton on both sides of the basketball. That's what I respect the most about his game, actually, is that on both sides of the basketball, he cares to play the game at a high level.
Well, and the other thing that I respect mostly from him is that he stayed, and he's staying here at St. Joe's. You know why? Because he's an NBA talent, right? Yeah. And you're going to get to be able to where you want to go from where you're at. You know, there's no reason to jump ship and think, oh, am I going to get some more notoriety? Well, what are you talking about? You're playing in an unbelievable conference. There's NBA talent that comes out of this conference year after year. You got a chance to win a title. You've played for a guy now who knows you, and you're, you know, in Philadelphia here. So it's like, I just have a lot of respect for a player like that who, you know, is going to stick around and just see it through, and then also get to where he wants to go at his next level. And he's got great players around him too. Xavier Brown, another one, a preseason second-team selection. You got Rasheer Fleming, who's on the 3rd team, and then you got Coach Lang again, who's really starting to get a groove going now with this team that went 21-14 last year and to the NIT. So.
You highlighted Brown. What I loved about Brown, I saw this nugget, is that he elevated his production during conference play last season. So he started averaging a couple of more points, 14.9 during conference play. Oftentimes, when you see a first-year player or a freshman, you get to conference play, and it's the opposite, right? It's more attention on you. We now have the scout. We know your game. We've had about 12 non-conference games to figure it out. Instead, though, Brown took his game up another notch and scored more in conference play, and then is terrific. Led his team in steals with 62. So you talk about defense and wanting to win. It starts on the defensive end. You know I love two-way players. I'm going to highlight those who play defense every time.
Yep, makes a lot of sense. The press conference is ready. We'll start with the women's side. Cindy Griffin, here she is.
All right, joining us now from St. Joseph's, women's basketball coach Cindy Griffin and student athlete Talya Brugler. Coach, if you wouldn't mind starting with a quick opening statement.
Sure. We're really excited about this year, as you can imagine, coming off a great year last year and just looking to take that next step with this team. And we feel as though we have the best team to do that. And we had a great off season. Kids are working really, really hard and very determined. And I'm looking forward to a great year.
Perfect. Thank you, Coach. We'll go ahead and open up for questions.
Cindy, Zach Weiss, Atlantic10.com. Always good seeing you. Have to ask about the new faces, the newcomers, what you were looking for within the principals to build this team, and who stood out for you so far.
Yeah, so we have 3 newcomers, 2 recruited players and 1 recent walk-on. And the newcomer that I want to talk about is Ryan Stokes, dynamic point guard in the backcourt, a player that can make plays and for herself and for others. And I think you're going to see she's still a freshman, but she's going to be a dynamic part of our success this year. The second player is Maya. She is from Sweden. She's more of a developmental player, but she's been able to play against Talya and Lara every day in practice, and 7 days in, she hasn't gone back to Sweden, so we're in good shape there.
Talya, you guys went overseas over the summer. Just how did that help you guys grow that family and just get some games under your belt?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely awesome, a great experience. Being able to do those things together that we typically wouldn't be able to do, like hiking through Plivet National Park. It's not something that you do every day. But being able to do that with one another, just helping us grow our bond off the court. And then on the court, we were able to get 2 wins while we were over there. So that was also really fun, just being able to introduce the newcomers to our style of play and just keep the ball rolling.
Cindy, Jonathan Tannenwald, the Philadelphia Inquirer. It's the second year in a row you guys have been voted number 2, I believe. And this year I would think it comes with a little bit higher expectations at the start of the season, given how well last season went. How do you embrace those expectations and use them in your locker room?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's great to be picked in the top of our league again. I think, as we know, they're all just preseason predictions. So as much as we love it, we still have to earn where we want to finish, and that's obviously number 1. How do we manage those expectations? You know, I think we're always trying to improve what we did the year before. And, you know, I think we fell short a little bit of our goals of being in the NCAA tournament, winning the Atlantic 10 championship. And so what do? We upped our schedule a little bit to get us a little bit more prepared for the league play. So we're playing a national schedule. We're going to put these guys in front of, you know, teams like Utah, teams like Syracuse, teams like Northwestern. So I'm excited to compete at that level with this team, because that's what I think we need to get to the next step.
If both of you could touch on Laura, but specifically from a defensive end, what she brings to be a nuisance and just make herself a matchup nightmare for opponents on both sides of the court.
Sure, I'll take it. And then you can take it since you play against her every day. No, Lara is an unbelievable basketball player. I think, you know, her offense speaks for itself. I think she can score the ball in a lot of different ways, but she really understands the game of basketball. She understands from a defensive standpoint. She understands angles. She understands personnel. You know, I think sometimes you underestimate how quick she is in areas of the floor. And, you know, she's able to block shots with both hands, and she's a great rebounder. So, you know, and also I think, you know, what you don't always see, and maybe you do hear it, is that she's a great communicator. And she sees things before they happen. And that's a gift that I have nothing to do with. It's all Lara, and we're lucky she's on our team.
Yeah, just to echo that, I think Coach said it best. Lara is just an overall great player, offensively and defensively, and I can attest to that because I have to play against her every single day. And not only is she very hard to guard, but she is hard to score against. She makes me a better player, and I know that I can help make her a better player, and I think that the two of us together, just like having her in there, just helps me out. And yeah, she's just really overall great defender.
Aaron Brazy from Big5Hoops.com in Philly. For both Coach and Talya, also in your non-conference schedule this year, is Big 5, the new format with the pods. So just wondering what your excitement level is, what your expectations are, and, you know, I guess, yeah, how excited you are to have a new format.
Yeah, I would say I'm really excited for the new format. I know the men did it last year, and it was overall just a very exciting experience to be able to witness that from the outside. I know a lot of the girls on our team wish that we would have had a similar situation. And with both of us winning the Big 5, there is some pressure there, but with pressure comes the privilege. So just keep working at that every day, and we're just very excited to play against those Philly schools. The Philly games are always, there's just extra edge to it, so I'm really excited for the new format.
You want me to address it too? Okay. Aaron, I'm excited to read your book. It's coming out, right? Very excited, so congratulations to you. Yes, you're welcome. Yeah, the Big Five, I mean, I think playing at those teams every year, as Talya talked about, and now having it more in a more condensed version of the two pods, where our pods, we're playing at Penn, we'll have Villanova at home again, which is great. The Villanova-St. Joe rivalry has gone on beyond my generation, and those are always great games, and I think the excitement building around the triple header is going to be awesome. It's something, again, that the men had done the year before and generated a lot of publicity, a lot of media attention, and of course, great games. And so, when you play in Philly, it's like it doesn't matter what your record is. It doesn't matter if you have all conference kids. It doesn't matter if you're a great coach. It's just that day who's going to be the best player, because everybody's bringing everything they have. And I think those games are going to prepare us for the Atlantic 10, because you have the same type of situation, just more elevated in numbers.
Cindy, when you talk about an overall mostly returning group, just what kind of different challenges do you ingrain in coaching them, just to make sure they understand the standard, which they know, but just keeping it fresh and keeping the challenges fresh as well?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest challenge is I don't want them to get bored. I think, just trying to keep things fresh, trying to keep things exciting for them. But it's something about this group that I really actually don't have to worry about those things. And in my head, I think I do, but then I show up to practice and I'm like, oh my God, they were terrific today. So very, very fortunate to have this group that is hungry, they're competitive, they want to play for and with each other. And, it just, again, just little challenges here and there that I can throw on them, whether it be a time and score drill or what have you. But they know what's coming. They know our schedule's coming. I think that excites them.
Coach, I'll jump in here real quick and ask you a similar question we posed in another press conference earlier. Can you just speak to a little bit about the competitiveness of this league and just how much of a challenge it is, night in and night out, to really battle against different programs in this league?
Yeah, I mean, you look at, who's projected in the top, 8, and really that could flip as we've seen in years past. Again, great coaches, great players. There's no gimmies. You have to be on your A game every night of the week. You see that, just from the teams that have gone on to postseason, not only just last year, but in years that are consistent in doing that. And we look forward to those challenges. I think anytime that we can elevate each other, I think it's good for our league. And I think this is going to be a great year for the Atlantic 10.
Cindy and Talya, thank you both for joining us today, and wishing you obviously best of luck the rest of the season.
Okay, appreciate it. Thank you very much.
All right, we'll transition over to St. Joe.